The day my clock started, we were already so far in debt. My year was gone in a week.
Nature wants to thin out the herd and make a few of us very strong.
The scientists who engineered this blessing understood that it came with a curse.
Takes time to make time.
My mom and I always talk about visiting a better time zone someday, maybe possibly moving to a place like that.
Everyone can't live forever. Massive overpopulation would put an impossible burden on the Earth's resources. Immortality would be the death of us.
For a few to be immortal, many must die.
My name is Levi. I'm 84 years old. I've lived in Dayton my entire life. Both my parents are from here. I've been at this mission for the past 65 years and provide them with time, more than time actually. It's hope.
So how old are you and what do you do?
I'm 206 years old. I'm a genetic engineer. For the purpose of this interview, I'd like to keep my identity secret.
Is it true you participated in the engineering of the aging gene?
I was just an assistant, 18. At the time, Clotho was the gene that they were working on, named after the Greek goddess who spun the thread of life.
What was it like the day they first switched off the aging gene in a human being?
They had some success with animals, but never human. When it happened, it was strange. There was no celebration, there was utter silence in the lab. See? Much like it is right now. I suppose it was a sense of awe. You know, that cracking a code that we weren't sure we should have cracked, a sense that we were really playing God.
And then came the announcement?
And the announcements and the riots that quickly followed.
Can you tell me your name and what you do?
Yeah, I'm Raymond Leon. I'm a timekeeper.
How long have you been a timekeeper?
50 years.
Can you explain to us what a timekeeper is?
Yeah, it keeps time.
What does that mean to keep time?
You know what it means, man.
Are you from Dayton? You grew up here?
Long time ago.
A long time ago you grew up here?
Long time ago.
Lately, it's become a sense of false hope, the lack of time, sense of urgency. People are scared.
Me, I'm good, man. I just gotta get to work. Okay, what? I don't have a lot of time. Yeah, go ahead.
How much time do you have?
More than an hour, less than a day.
You don't seem that concerned about it.
I've had less.
Okay, does it bother you that the people in New Greenwich, they've got hundreds of years on their clock?
I don't worry about what people in New Greenwich do. Make my own time.
You know anybody who's ever made it over there to New Greenwich? Any friends who've ever gone over there?
What is this? What is this?
Well, we're trying to help you people. We're making this movie.
You people?
Of Dayton.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, you know, the people of Dayton. Hey.
Massive overpopulation would put an impossible burden on the Earth's resources. Immortality would be the death of us.
The solution was to make time the currency. Every child on Earth born with a clock, a year to live. Once they reached the age of 25, it seemed fair at the time.
Can you tell me your name and how old you are?
My name is Sylvia Weiss, and I'm 25 and 2 birthdays, 27.
So what's it like having your name on buildings all over the 12 time zones?
I can't really help what name you're born with. It's what you do with it that counts. But try telling that to my father.
What do you mean by that?
He's been 25 for 85 years, and he's very set in his ways. He thinks the entire world outside of New Greenwich is a threat to him, to all of us. And what I would like is to be able to make up my own mind and travel. I would love to see how other people live outside of this time zone. Whatever, I just don't want to sit around anymore. I don't want to sit around collecting decades from my trust fund and trying not to do anything risky. Who wants to spend forever like that?
So how many people time out a day in Dayton?
Approximately. I don't know. You're gonna have to. I don't do statistics, man.
Would you say that there's a lot of crime in the neighborhood?
You could say that.
Does it bother you that time is unequally distributed among people?
You know, I'm just doing my job. That's what I do.
What is it about this job that draws you to it?
The car.
How much time does your family have?
I don't know. It's not really something we sit around and talk about. I get that people are curious about it, but time isn't really everything, or, you know.
So you don't know if your father's worth 1,000,000 years?
Sorry, you might want to ask him. I mean, if he knew that I was doing this, there would be an army of lawyers and bodyguards here right now. And I'd be getting another lecture about my risky behavior.
I'm not at liberty to discuss an ongoing investigation, but I will say that the charges are baseless and we will be completely exonerated. If making a change were as easy as giving out a millennia or two to the lower zones, I'd be the first in line, arm out, ready to give my share. But the truth is, this is a system that needs balance, okay? It needs winners, it needs losers.
The real problems started as soon as they discovered that time could be stored outside of the body in time capsules. That's when the system became truly corrupted. Time zones were established. Millions of years were held in the hands of a select few, while the rest of the population were forced to survive minute to minute.
Can I see how many buttons you have?
Can you see how many buttons I have? It's the luxury of time. Okay? Can you leave me alone now?
What's your name? How old are you?
Henry Hamilton. 105. There's a lot more where that came from.
Family from around here?
Yeah.
It's just me and my mom. My dad passed away. But I can remember him. After my father died, I tried to help out. There's not much work here for a kid. Once I can remember giving my mom a time capsule with a whole hour in it. No, the day my clock started, we were already so far in debt. My year was gone in a week. Things went from bad to worse after that, so here we are, day to day.
And I think my parents wanted a boy. Anyway, they named me after my great-great-grandfather, Sylvester. He owned some insurance company back when people needed that sort of thing. You know, and he died when he was 76. They had really short lives. My friends probably won't move out of the house until they're 100.
Well, my mom and I always talk about visiting a better time zone someday. She always talks about going to eat at a 5-star restaurant, like the kind you see on shows. And you know what we're gonna eat for dessert?
What?
Souffle. Souffle? Souffle, yeah. They're these fancy little French cakes that take an hour to cook. How crazy is that? Spend a whole hour just waiting on it.
My father would like the world to think that he built his empire from nothing. But don't believe that. Like they say, it takes time to make time.
You're the CEO of one of the most successful companies in the world. How did you get to this place?
Well, I'd love to say intellect and unerring judgment, but the truth is there was a lot of dumb luck. When I was a young man, 60 so years ago, I started out on a much, much different path. I finished law school and I contemplated human rights. Lived in the ghetto for a few months. Even convinced my father to give to the poorest zones. But it didn't change anything, you know? The next day, they were back in line, arms out, wanting more. And that's when it struck me, the futility. You know, I thought I was saving people, but really I was just prolonging the inevitable. See, nature wants to thin out the herd and make a few of us very strong. Now, a month later, I was working for my father again. And the first suit I bought could have fed 2 of those zones for a year.
The irony is that the poor nowadays have a shorter life expectancy than they would have if they aged naturally. And we can't get rid of it. The ticking clock is in every cell of our body. We cut off the clock, it's still inside, ticking away, and we just don't know the time.
Rumored to be worth over 1 million years. What would you do if you woke up one day and it was all gone?
Let me preface this by saying, I've been told that if I had humility, I would be perfect. But in all honesty, if I lost 1 million years, I would make another 1 million years. You see, the little-known secret is that wealth and power, they're not built here. They're built here.
In the ghetto, there's a saying, for few to be immortal, many must die.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
Why is it important to you that we keep your identity hidden?
Because I'm so old. I was born before the time clock. I remember a time when you could buy lunch without selling minutes and hours of your life. See, to some out there, I represent all that is wrong and corrupt with this system. If my identity were to become public, I would be in danger from those seeking to strike out at the establishment.
Well, let me ask you something. Do you think it's fair that you have so much time and people around here have so much time and the people at Dayton have almost nothing?
Do I think it's fair? Are you kidding me? Of course I don't think it's fucking fair. All right? Hey, open your eyes. All right? It was never fair. The illusion of fairness is all those poor souls ever had. It's just an opiate for the time-starved masses to keep them in line.
How come you know?
How come I know? Because I'm here and they're there. All right? And for a few to be immortal, many must die.
So the people at Dayton are the many.
But we can't have the good sons and daughters of New Greenwich timing out in the gutters like dogs, can we? I mean, what would the neighbors say?
Do you feel as though there's a lot of corruption in the department? something that comes up a lot, that there's corruption among timekeepers.
Well, you should talk to those guys.
Do you feel like you ever want to do something other than this?
Other than talk to you?
Other than being a timekeeper?
No.
The only way to cope is hoping that there's something coming, some greater answer to provide something greater than the temporary solution that I am able to give to these people.
Do you think there's a possibility that we could reverse this technology?
The question isn't can we? The question is will we? See, the poor have no time to change it. And the rich have no incentive. The problem is everyone wants to live forever.